Welcome to the Scalpel of Truth podcast, the members-only inner circle club for VIP bachachos, with your host, Leisa Krauss, the bitchin' beautician, also known as the Profit Queen. And don't worry, the cursing and salty language is already included in your club fees. As a business consultant with over 30 years in the industry, Leisa is a no-nonsense profit strategist, international speaker, motivational sales trainer, and thought leader. Known for her bold, unapologetic style, she coaches med spa owners, managers, and providers all over the world to become high-end profit powerhouses. Her practice growth strategies are sharp, her stories even sharper, and her panache for bringing the spice, the sharpest. So get ready to transform your practice into a wildly successful luxury brand. Buckle up, bachachos. Leisa is about to slice and dice another episode of The Scalpel of Truth.
Welcome back to the Scalpel of Truth podcast. I'm your host, Leisa Krauss, aka the Bitchin' Beautician, your profit strategist and business consultant who is going to tell you the truth even when it stings, because I am 2 feet invested in your success, and I know that time is money and sugarcoating shit is not my style. So today's topic, consistency. Listen, folks, I know it doesn't sound flashy. It's not the latest injectable technique or the trending TikTok hack that promises overnight followers, but listen to me carefully. Consistency is the single most underrated and overlooked growth tool in your practice. Because here's the truth. If you want referrals, if you want retention, and if you want a practice that people talk about with confidence, your consistency is what's going to earn that. Here's the legal part I need to read. This podcast is presented solely for educational entertainment purposes. Guys, I'm just your beauty business bitch. I'm not a licensed therapist or an HR representative, nor am I a lawyer. This platform's used to share my experiences with what's made me a successful service provider, a manager, and a business consultant for those who I coach. Got it? Beautiful. I want you to think about it. The businesses that you trust most, whether it's your Starbucks, Apple, even your local grocery store, you trust them because it's predictable. You know exactly what to expect every single time. That's predictability, and that builds trust, and trust opens wallets and drives referrals. Now, let's apply that to your medical aesthetic practice. Patients are silently asking, how can I count on you? Can I count on you to treat me the same way every time? Can I count on you for the results? Can I count on the same energy from your staff every single time? If the answer isn't immediately yes, then bachachos, we've got work to do. Let's break down where inconsistency kills your growth. Number 1, your look and your brand. If your Instagram screams Gucci, but your patient lounge, or heaven forbid you're still calling it a patient waiting room, screams bargain bin basement or back alley Botox, you've broken the trust bridge. The patients will feel that disconnect. How about your pitch? Every single provider in your clinic needs to talk about the services in the same way. They need to give the same pitch on your membership. All of it needs to be the same. If one injector's selling Tox like it's liquid gold and the other one shrugs it off as a tweak or a minor add-on, you've created confusion and a lack of consistency. And let me be blunt. You've heard me say this 1,000 times. Confusion kills conversion. So let's talk your services. You can't deliver your A game on Monday and half-ass services on Friday because you're fucking tired from the week. Patients will clock it. They'll never say it to your face, but they're going to remember, and they're going to stop referring, and worse, stop coming in altogether. Let's talk consultations. This is the biggest offender of them all. If every team member is doing their own consult their own way, you do not have a brand. You've got chaos, and chaos is unreferable. This is where I take a moment to plug my kick-ass consult closing workshop, which comes with a consultation template and streamlines the entire process for your team. I want you to reach out and book that virtually or in person. And if you're looking at booking this, you're going to want to do it sooner than later. If you want it before the end of the year, my availability in making sure that you're crushing it and closing out the year real strong needs to be booked ASAP. I have about 8 to 10 dates left before the turn of 2026. So snap that up if it's something that you are looking for. And obviously, depending on when you're listening to this episode. So let's move on to leadership. If you are rewarding 1-star provider all the time because you have favoritism in your blood, but you're ignoring the quiet, steady one, you're cracking your culture. And culture cracks, we've talked about this, are silent killers for your growth. Your patients can sense when your team is not aligned. And I want to share a personal story that happened recently that actually prompted me to do this podcast episode. And that was my beautiful mother, Brenda, aka rapper name B-Dog, was here to visit me and my family. And I wanted to book the two of us in for massages. So we were both really looking forward to the relaxation and escape. We arrived at the clinic. We're both greeted, told to take a seat, and that our therapist would be right with us. And I mean, this waiting room, and we were waiting, so I can say that, patient lounge, if you're high end, it was not rave worthy. It was fine, but it certainly wasn't rave worthy. My provider comes to get me. My mom's provider comes to get her. My experience I would like to share, and I've had massages that were epic before. Beautiful, warm bed you crawl into, music playing, aroma in the atmosphere. Not this time. Nope. My experience was that I climbed into a cold massage bed, no warmer, no bed warmer. The room was actually quite cool, and for not having any fucking clothes on, made things a little uncomfortable. And I've had massages in the past. This was mediocre at best, and how we started. So I did not have high hopes the second I walked in the room. So my therapist, she was lovely. Her massage techniques were good. I was not given a fragrance or a scent to choose from for my massage oil. And at the end of the massage, while I just laid there, no music playing, no nothing, just awkward silence, I was handed a warm towel to wipe my own skin down to remove the excess oil and residue before getting dressed. Wow, I thought to myself, fuck, there's the extra mile. Not at all. My mom, B-Dog, such a sweetheart, pays for our massages. I was going to try and treat her. We have this thing where we go back and forth, who's going to treat who. So she beats me to the punch. We get back to the car, and I said, so how was your massage? I was excited to know. She was over the moon with excitement for her practitioner because she walked into her room, and it had this gorgeous light that made it look like the Northern Lights reflection on the ceiling of her treatment room. And she received warm towels to her feet after her gorgeous foot massage that she had, which I did not. And she had a head massage. Then her therapist took the warm towels. Remember the one that mine handed me to clean up my own skin? Her therapist used those warm towels on her back and her legs and let her sit there with those on, and then massaged her skin on top of the towels, and then used that massaging technique to wipe the excess oil off her skin. I said, holy shit bag, I didn't get any of that. And our massages were the same fucking price. I'm livid, okay? I said, who was your provider? What was her name? Because the only way I'm going back there is if I can see the girl that you had. What does this do to the patient experience with a lack of consistency? I didn't plan on returning to the establishment, let alone giving anyone else a chance to give me a great experience. But since my mom had an excellent experience that she thought was fabulous, I would only return under the one condition that now that there's third-party validation, I would go to the same practitioner she had. In comparison, mine was mediocre at best. The other thing I instantly thought after my mom shared her experience was this place is hit or miss because they hire folks and they do not inspect what they expect and they do not have consistency or a standard of practice. You know how this would irritate the shit out of me. So instead, what can happen if you're not referable and you're not consistent and patients can't predict a great outcome? It results in lost revenue. And I certainly wouldn't be referring any of my friends to this establishment. In fact, if people asked where I got the massage, I would have relayed this whole entire story like I am to you now. So if you actually look at it. I have now used this as an example. I've not said the name of the establishment or the name of the practitioner, but thousands of people are going to know about this story. Any hooter, I've digressed. So folks, this is the teaser for the general listeners. In the Inner Circle Club Bachacho, we are breaking this down, all the way down. And I'm giving you the frameworks, the system, the playbook of how to standardize and lock in consistency at every level so that you can scale and dominate. To get into the Inner Circle, it is only a monthly investment of $19.99. You heard me right. And no, you're not getting a free bowl of soup with that, which is the most affordable consulting you can find in this industry, bar none. I happen to know this. Head over to the scalpeloftruth.com. That is scalpeloftruth.com to get signed up for your personal weekly feed of consulting tips and pearls for your practice to grow your empire and scale. Bachachos, I want you to think about this. If I walked into your practice today, would every patient, provider, every consultation, every patient experience, is all of that the same? If I walked in, and this happens, I'll walk into a practice and everybody, it's funny. Everybody's excited for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then it's kind of like, oh, holy shit, she's probably going to give a shit about some stuff and villainize us and tell us we need to change some things. So it goes very quickly from excitement to a little bit of fear. And guys, I'm not that scary. I swear. I'm not. I'm here to help you build your practice. If I walk in and those things were not on lock, you are leaving money on the table. All right, let's cut this episode teaser here because Inner Circle, it is time to get tactical. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Don't want to wait to see things stay the way they are.